welcome everyone to episode 110 of the internet sensation known as Triple Threat Talk. I'm your host, Gary, the Dr. Locker, joined as always by PostMaster, Mr. Jimmy Biggers Jones. I like to throw your name in different.
I know. It's like
jumbled.
Things are flying.
And then the newly designated.
Whoa. Let's just go ahead. If we're gonna do it, we gotta do it right.
The newly designated. Come on.
I had the idea.
I know you did.
So let me do it.
All right.
I had the idea.
All right.
So as you all know, Big B, the third guy here, the producer / director of the show, has been on job watch for a while. He's been, searching and searching. Well, Big B finally landed a job. Well, sorta. It seems that Big B landed a job for something that he was already good at.
Oh my God. So,
if you peruse Big B's Facebook page, it lists his job title as a package handler. Well, we all know that Big B was already a good package handler, and if you don't believe it, just ask Cody Rhodes.
Not from personal experience, by the way.
Just thought we'd throw that out there. So Big B, congratulations on finally putting the title on
Congratulations on handling packages. We're very
for
proud.
becoming a package handler.
Yeah, you think it would end after 110 episodes, nearly over 2 years, but it doesn't. It doesn't end ever.
No, it doesn't.
And here's the thing: when the camera goes off, it doesn't end then. When it's not filmed, it doesn't end then. Phone calls, Facebook messages, it doesn't end. Believe me, it doesn't end. I just wear a target on my chest. I just wear a target attack.
No, sorry. Now that you're a package handler, a target on your chest.
I just want to say that the doc sends me a text message this morning of your profile on Facebook, and he says, "Look," and it says "occupation package handler," and I just lost it. There's got to be a better title for that than that.
That's the job.
I mean, you need to change that. I don't care if you put sorting boxes or something. Just packet handler and you do not fit right.
Handling freight, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a little bit better.
Yeah, but then if he ran into a black guy.
Whoa!
Handling freight might be a little. So, Big B, congratulations on your new job as package handler. I'm sure Cody Rhodes was glad you were finally able to detail that information on Facebook. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he was thrilled.
So, congratulations.
Today on the show, we're talking a little football, we're talking a little baseball, we're talking a little NASCAR, we're talking a little golf. And we're talking a little bit of package handling.
The wrestling you won't be talking about.
Yeah, I won't be here. Your good friend, the doctor, has a couple prior obligations. I will be with
Probligations. That is a new word.
Instead of prior obligations, probligations. There you go. This is what I do. I create words.
Webster's is watching.
That's right. So I'll be with you through views or questions and headlines, and then I will leave my co-host in the more than capable hands of the rest of the show.
Alright, so...
They drugged me off the beach to even be here right now.
Yeah, that's what we did.
That's what we did, yes. Kicking and screaming, trust me.
Will Ferrell?
No.
That's the name
Package
of
handler.
Kicking and Screaming is the name of the movie.
I know, but it's a terrible movie.
Well,
it's not very good.
No, it's not.
So to kick things off, views or questions.
Kick things off, no soccer reference.
Keep it up.
Why? What's going to happen if I keep it up? Couldn't be any worse.
You opened the door.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
You opened the door and started handling packages.
I opened the door.
You put package handler on your Facebook page.
Title.
Change it. It doesn't work. It sounds perverse. I'm just.
If your mind's in the gutter.
Our minds are always in the gutter. So is yours.
No, it's not.
From the Buck and Five. How much do you think social media and the internet guides WWE and TNA into making certain decisions involving certain superstars and storylines?
I'll say this much. I highly doubt social media and internet guides anything TNA related. I highly doubt it, because if it did, they wouldn't be in business anymore. I think WWE uses it more often now than they used to. I think Triple H is a big abdicator of social media. He's going. He knows that's the age they're in. I mean, they do
Big
things.
words today.
Yeah, I know they do things like Twitter matches. They do things on Twitter like tweets. If you want this person, they always do live tweeting on Raw.
Active.
Yeah. The WWE app is a huge thing for them. So I mean, social media is definitely big for TNA. It's the opposite of what they want. Social media really hurts them.
WWE app. Yeah, right there.
It's WWE on your phone.
I have to agree. I mean, WWE is the innovator of a lot of stuff. They lead the way in a lot of stuff, and TNA just falls by the wayside more and more so.
Yeah, more ways than one.
Yes, in more ways than one.
We'll get to that way in a minute.
Yeah, in just a second here. But yeah, I agree with them. WWE is definitely head and shoulders above the both as far as using social media and getting the fans involved with the many different things with the app and all that. So I think it's great. It's an even more way for fan interaction other than just showing up or writing letters or calling in on like a voicemail line and leaving your comments, stuff like that. This is an even better way.
It's the time we live in, so they have to, they're good.
Absolutely. From the Bucking 5 and the Big Corn 16.
I don't want to answer this question. I do not.
And the reason why I put them together, as a matter of fact, Jeffrey Castor also kind of made a question about this, and Against the Odds 20 also kind of.
So everyone wants to know our opinion
on this, basically. What do you think about Tito Ortiz joining TNA and the August 1st warning? Big B?
Alright.
Why?
So, let's see. There's this all speculation on the internet with this August 1st thing, and people are speculating who it is. Is it Goldberg? Is it Batista? Is it Bob Holly? People were thinking it was Bob Holly, which I've been okay with that.
I told you at dinner I would have been okay with that too.
I said Spike Dudley.
Well, I think
that would have been okay.
I think the shape of the head was more someone that was bald, so that's people say Goldberg or Batista or whatever. But it wasn't any of those people. It was Tito Ortiz, and the reactions on not just the fans' faces, but the superstars in the ring on TNA last week told it all. They stood there like in amazement, like they couldn't believe what they were witnessing. And then, this is what you get, TNA, for doing something that doesn't make any sense. Now, I talked to Terry's wife, Cheryl, at OVW this past Saturday for that Saturday special, because it was Terry's last day. I was talking about the TNA thing. And she says, from a marketing standpoint, it's smart. Yeah, it's smart from a marketing standpoint, because Spike is, obviously shows Bellator, and they want to promote that much as possible, and Rampage is going to fight Tito Ortiz at a Bellator fight, so let's put him on the same show in TNA and make more buzz. Marketing, 100%. Great move. 100%. But as far as a wrestling move for TNA, not the smartest decision you could have made. And like I said, Dixie Carter just got completely blasted on Twitter about
this. Yes, very much so.
I mean, people were like, what are you doing? Might as well just sell now. You're going backwards. It's mind-boggling. And the one thing that I can say before I let these guys weigh their opinion on it as well, NoDQ.com, I've referenced it before on the show, and the one thing they tweeted, and it was perfectly said by them on Twitter, it said, it's not Goldberg, it's not Jericho, it's not Batista, it's Tito Ortiz, ... yay. No one cares about Tito Ortiz on TNA. It makes no sense to me.
Here's the thing. In the day and age that we're in at wrestling, you have so many things. Myself and the King, Kenny Bolin, had a great discussion on Facebook about this the other day. TNA lacks doing what is necessary. WWE makes leaps and bounds when they want to. Even if they don't want to, they take a leap of faith. Yeah. Like this whole thing with Zack Ryder. They took a leap of faith, and it paid off with them for a little bit. And people, and even giving a rookie the belt like Sheamus, that helped him out a lot. From time to time, WWE grows a pair and does what is
Daniel Bryan right now.
Yeah. And here's the thing: TNA doesn't do that. TNA lacks doing what is necessary, and what is necessary for TNA to do is stop hiring WWE rejects.
They need to go out and scout.
They need to go out and scout. And they need to pick up fresh young faces. Here's 3 guys that would love to work for you. We would do wonders for your company.
Well, they probably can't afford us.
That's true. But they can't afford much of it.
And the thing is, though, like we said before, we're going back to OVW frequently, and we like the people that work there. And technically, at this point in time, OVW is still the training for TNA. Why don't they bring people up from there? I don't understand what is the relationship now between I don't get it. Gut check failed miserably, so that didn't work. And there's people in OVW that deserve a shot in TNA, like Jamin, Muhammad Ali, Viaz, Michael Hayes, others. But they just don't do that. They just like say, oh,
because
let's get rid of this person and hire
TNA wants to focus on the big names because that's what they think they'll do. But what they don't understand, and this is the exact same thing that WWE and WCW struggled with as well, and even ECW.
Yeah.
The big names are the older names. Those are the people on the way out. Everybody believes in paying their dues, all right? I've had a conversation or two with a couple people that used to be in OVW that aren't anymore. Paying dues is an outdated term for the wrestling business because in today's society, in today's marketing, you have people stepping up all over the place that didn't know squat about the business they were in. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Steve Wozniak. A lot of these people, a lot of those were tech examples, but it still is. It's applicable.
It relates.
Because those people started their own business. They didn't have to worry about paying dues or anything like that. The fact of the matter is, some of the talent and some of the people that are out there reflect poorly on people that don't have time in the business. The fact of the matter, if we say something, people respect our opinion now at OVW because of what we do and what we've done for them.
Yeah.
But before that, we were called smart marks and stuff like that because people didn't understand that we understood. We know what we're talking about.
We're no longer classified as marks.
We're no longer classified as marks.
We walk in there.
But when we walk into TNA, we would still be classified as marks. We would still be classified as smart marks because we don't know the biz. We don't know anything. Well, guess what? I know a lot about management, and so does this guy right here. And you know a lot about retail. We've watched wrestling since day one, and we're smart.
There's a combined maybe 50 years of knowledge here.
You put all that together, and guess what? We can get a company going in the right direction. It's the fact of the matter is, TNA focuses on the older people and the people that know the business. Well, that's all well and good, except for when those people are on their way out, who you bringing in? Because it's certainly nobody good.
No. They can't afford certain people. They let
And then you have people out there, well, what about Chris Sabin? Really? Yeah, he's your champ, but everybody knows that that's written. I mean, seriously? The kid didn't impress me with anything.
I like Chris Sabin.
I like him as a person and as a wrestler, but it's not something where I look there and I have to tune in for Chris Sabin.
No, I agree.
I don't tune in for Chris Sabin. No. I tune in for other people.
Yeah.
Chris Sabin to me is, yes, I will watch him, but if somebody else is on television other than Chris Sabin, I'm going to watch somebody else.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Any opinions there?
No, I think you all said enough. I don't elaborate any further. Also, and finally from the Buck and Five, how do you feel about A-Rod being suspended for the rest of this year and all of next year, and the 12 other players being suspended for 50 games each, including 3 All-Star players? And do you feel that the sentences were long and just enough?
I don't think we can consider A-Rod suspended because the day after he was suspended, he played. Really, MLB? Really?
I mean, he's appealing it, so he's not. I mean, what it looks like, the appeal process takes like 45 days, so it looks like he has the options to play through the whole season.
He admitted to using. What is there to do? Be a man, suck it up, and deal with your punishment. Stop being a little wimp. Stop being. I want to say another word so bad.
I know.
Stop being that guy. Suck it up. Take your ball and your baseball bat and go home. Nobody wants you there. You walked into a stadium full of booze the other day. You really think they want you there?
Well, that was Chicago.
And guess what? You don't want the. You don't need the money.
That would happen anywhere, I think.
You don't need the money. What are you fighting for? The appeals process itself is going to cost you more money than your contract is worth. What are you fighting for when you already have admitted that you have used?
All right, with that, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue with user questions. And when we get into headlines right after this, stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk. Don't go anywhere.
We really wanted to take a relaxing trip to Florida, just to unwind.
But we can only afford one trip this year, and his high school reunion is coming up in Seattle.
Everyone's going. Then we heard about Hotwire and realized we could actually afford to take both trips.
See, when really nice hotels have unsold rooms, they use Hotwire to fill them. So we got our 4-star hotels for half price.
I should have been voted most likely to travel.
HOTWIRE, Hotwire.com.
Save big on car rentals too, from $11.95 a day.
And we're back here on Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Vickers, along with the package handler, Big B, and the Dr. Gary Locker.
You gotta warn a guy before you bust out with that.
I'm sorry.
You gotta say it.
So from now on,
That's gonna be funny.
That is his new nickname for a while.
It's not the peon.
It's not the peon. It's not the esteemed.
Let me ask you this question. If I change it tonight, will it go away?
What?
If I change the title.
If you change
No.
your name, no.
Because we've already seen it.
I tell you what.
We can't unsee it.
If that is his new nickname, if we call him instead of Big B, if we call him the package handler, Brandon Namiro, we'll let it go.
We'll let it go.
If you change it from Big B to the package handler, Brandon Namiro, I'm not joking about it.
It's like Ricky Chevy. God love him. It was like before he lost all that weight. We can't unsee what we saw.
Ricky, by God, Chevy.
Come on,
Bobby Hill.
All right. From Against All Odds 20. If you could only watch 2 wrestling shows out of these, who would it be and why? WWE, TNA, ROH, or OVW?
Easy. WWE and OVW. That's easy. I watch both of them now. So it's not like, I guess I'll say why. I've watched WWE since I was 6 years old. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. And OVW, I know a lot of people there, so I just like watching them too.
If I could watch ROH, I would.
Yeah, I agree.
But we can't.
But we can't.
Not in this
Not in this market.
In this market.
OVW and WWE for
So
the same
OVW
reasons.
and WWE all the way. There you
Easy
go.
question. Moving on.
From the Jeffrey Caster. Has Christian lost the peeps?
Where's the peeps?
And do you think he deserves a world title shot?
Yes and no.
You tackle this first.
What?
You tackle this first. You're the Christian person.
I don't think he's lost his peeps. He still has a lot of fans out there.
A lot of
that like
marshmallow
him.
peeps.
Yeah, a lot of people that still like him. And does he deserve a world title shot? I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a previous world champion. He wasn't a bad world champion. I mean, there's been some in the past like Jack Swagger.
He was only world champion because of Edge.
That's what we think.
That's probably why.
I mean, it could be, but that's probably right.
I mean, Vince has never been a Christian person.
No, for some weird reason, I don't know why. But he's a good worker.
Yeah.
He's loyal to the company he's with when he's there.
Sometimes
When he's there. He
flip flops worse than a politician, as you would say.
well, he does do that. But some of that's not his doing. Just because he has another shot doesn't mean he's gonna win.
Yeah, of course not.
But I think it's good that he's getting this shot at SummerSlam. I think he's better than Del Rio, if you want my opinion.
I think so.
He's a better wrestler than Del Rio.
Sometimes I watch Del Rio, I get kind of bored.
He's a better character than Del Rio. So from that aspect, I say yes and yes.
I don't think Christian's lost his peeps or his fans, whatever he wants to call them. I could say he deserves a world title shot because of he's been on a roll lately, but he brought up a good point. We'll get into it a little later, but Sheamus is injured. He's been out 6 months. And that could be a possibility why Christian's in the spot he's in. Maybe Sheamus was going to fight Del Rio at SummerSlam. I don't know if that was the case. But, Christian's in the spot, more power to him. He's going to take advantage of it. Do I think he's going to win? No, I don't. It's a good opportunity for Christian to prove that he can still go. I mean, he was injured a while back. They didn't bring him back for quite some time. Now he's got a chance to battle for the world title on a big stage. So, I think it's good for him. So.
I think he's one of those guys that's going to be there in the spotlight until the guy that they want to be back is back, and that Sheamus. Do I think Christian could be a good world champion? Yes, because he's been there before. Do I think he's their best option? Absolutely not.
I mean, point blank, I'm back to the other thing about Vince McMahon. And there's no denying this. Edge is way better than Christian, by far. Leaps and bounds better than Christian. And I think that's what happened when they were together. Vince saw Edge as like, this guy's going to be something someday, like one of the best ever. And he kind of overshadowed Christian. And Vince is like, I never even noticed him kind of thing,
Right.
It could be.
And finally, from Jeffrey Caster to wrap up user questions.
I prefer neither.
Pretty funny, actually.
I prefer neither.
Which do you prefer? Alex Riley, the wrestler, or Alex Riley, the commentator?
I'd rather be asked a question, which one do you prefer, left Twix or right Twix? I prefer neither. I didn't think Alex Riley was that impressive when he first debuted, to be honest. The only reason he got where he was is because he was with The Miz, and The Miz was the hottest thing at the time. And as far as commentator, he's only commentated one match, so I don't know if that really... I prefer him to be not there, to be honest. I don't think he's that exciting. I think, honestly, what happened with him and John Cena in the back kind of sealed his fate in terms of him making anything of himself. So.
I like A-Rod. That's all I'm going to say. A-Rod. Sorry, A-Rod. I don't like A-Rod.
I don't really care for either one. If they fired him tomorrow, I wouldn't be too upset.
What happened with,
So with that wraps up user questions this week. We want to thank everybody for their questions and comments, and all that and above. So with that, we will anoint this week's Viewer of the Week, and I think because we gave long discussion to several of his questions, he had the A-Rod question and the TNA question.
I want a TNA question.
So Buckin' 5,
yet again,
you are this week's episode 110 Viewer of the Week. And with that, Big B,
yes,
if you would please,
sure,
since the doc is back,
I only do it. I only put up the graphic. If now this is the challenge. You invented the Gary again. It's your invention, but you have the hat now. Incorporate the hat. Go.
Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
He's just using the hat as a dance partner.
Oh yeah. There we go. Work the sides. You know what? I can work on that. All right.
Boom.
First try.
Headlines.
Headlines.
How about A-Rod? Let's talk about this a little bit more. Just while it's still fresh.
Yeah.
While it's still fresh.
You know, obviously the suspension was handed out last week. 211 games will be out to the 2015 season.
Not long enough.
He can. Well, he's done anyway.
Yeah,
he's done either way. He can appeal, which he is. It looks like he's going to play as long as the appeal takes. If he could play the whole rest of the season, or he could play like one more game, and that could be it for him. You never know. He's playing on borrowed time, and they mentioned him coming back. He got booed, and I don't think it would matter if he was in Chicago. He could have been in New York at home. They probably still would have booed him. And he came back, didn't really produce anything. The White Sox swept the Yankees, which, I mean, again, I don't know a lot about baseball, but I clearly said on the show way back when, before baseball started, I said the Yankees weren't making the playoffs, and they're not. They're too old, they're too injured, and they don't have enough talent to hit the ball, and their pitching's not doing that well. So, but A-Rod didn't come back to do anything really that great. He's too old. He's playing on borrowed time, and I wish he got banned lifetime, to be honest. I mean, either way, he's not playing baseball ever again. And just... I mean, he was a good kid in Seattle. Just, did certain things. He lied about it, and then he told the truth. And it's just like he seems like a bad human being, and he doesn't seem like a great guy. He doesn't hang out with the greatest people. From what I've heard, he didn't deserve to play baseball anymore. He ruined his life. He ruined his career, and he could have been one of the greats. He decided to choose otherwise.
I stick by what I said with Brian Cannon a couple weeks ago. I stick by that he should be banned. He should be out of there. And they need to put in something in the contracts now that says if one strike equals 1 year. If you are using, we're going to get rid of you for 1 year.
That could possibly happen eventually.
I think baseball is too chicken to do what is necessary. We're coming in a time now with advanced medicine, whether it's good or bad, advanced technology, whether it's good or bad, old modes of thinking, like with TNA, whether it's good or bad. People are not wanting to do what is necessary. It's like Batman Begins. You have to learn to do what is necessary. You have to. Because, it's just one of those things that if not, your company or your team or whatever is going to happen, it's going to fold because you're not doing what's necessary. If you want to clean up baseball, you send a positive message. Lines in every contract, no one is exempt.
No, I agree.
One strike. If we find out that you are banned for 1 year. You get a retest, yes, because I fully understand that samples can be contaminated and all. I get that. Mm-hmm. You get a retest. You get no appeal, though. You get a retest, and that is it. You have to lay down the law. And that is something baseball either A, is not willing to do, or B, is too chicken to do. Yeah. And there's not too much wiggle room between the two modes.
And A-Rod wasn't the only person that was suspended. There was a bunch of other people suspended.
Nelson Cruz, Johnny Peralta.
And Nelson Cruz were the two most notable people.
And they took their suspension right away.
50 games.
And you know why? Because when they come back, their teams are probably going to be in the playoffs, so they'll join right up with the playoff teams.
Yeah. Before we get to our next talent, speaking of PEDs, this week Brian Cannon actually posted another video this week, so we're going to check this out real quick. Brian Cannon's thoughts on the baseball and the PED situation.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Cannon. Now later on in the show you'll see me for OVW Mania, but I'm here for a special segment this week. I want to continue what we've been talking about, especially with it being the big news story of the week on MLB Network, SportsCenter and all that, with baseball and the PEDs and A-Rod and all that. So what I wanted to talk about, now I know I talked with the doctor a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to kind of continue, especially with all the A-Rod stuff and the unfairness of it. This week, if you you've been living under a rock or something in the sports world. A lot of suspensions were handed down for all the players that were connected to biogenesis. A lot of suspensions were handed out, 50 games. Players like Nelson Cruz, Everett Cabrera. There was probably about a dozen of them. Ryan Braun had already got one a couple weeks ago for like 65 games. That was for the rest of the year. The big one, of course, was A-Rod, who got 211 games, which was supposed to be for the rest of this year and next year. However, with baseball's appeal process, he's still playing. And this is what I wanted to get into because there's no fairness in this whatsoever. And what I wanted to say first is I do applaud baseball for cracking down and wanting to clean up the game. But in my opinion, the appeals process needs to be changed. I don't know how or what exactly they need to do on it, but if this situation comes up again, I mean, what do you do? Here's a guy that has lied before, we know has taken steroids before, and yet he is still getting to play even though he was suspended. All the other guys that got the 50-game suspensions took them, and they're gone right now. But yet he's appealing and still getting to play. First of all, this how does this look to kids who look up to baseball players or other sports figures as kind of heroes or idolize them? Try to imitate them. If they see, if some of them are, Yankees fans and they're like, man, I really like A-Rod and all that, how is this any good for them? Oh, well, you can take drugs and, you can still play because you can appeal. That it's just not right. And how is this fair to several other things? First of all, the Yankees fans, because, some of them might still have a blind loyalty to their team, regardless of who's playing for them. But I was talking about this the other day to a couple people, and I said, what happens if you've got a close game, and at the end of the game, A-Rod hits a walk-off home run? The Yankees win the game. What do you do? I mean, your hand's kind of forced, like I said, unless you have a blind loyalty, you just don't care. But, you want to cheer and applaud and like, yeah, the Yankees won, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to stand up and cheer because you've got this cheater who should, in my opinion, shouldn't even be playing, that was the one that hit the home run. So, first this isn't for the Yankees fans. Then what about fans of the other teams and the other teams in general? I'm talking about like the other AL East teams, the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Tampa Bay Rays. If A-Rod plays like the A-Rod of old and helps the Yankees get to the playoffs, how is this fair? Because the Red Sox, Orioles, and Rays are playing either fairly, or if they did have players that were suspended, their players are suspended. They're not playing right now. They took their 50-game suspensions and they're gone. So, this isn't fair to the other teams. It's not fair to the other team's fans if they make a push. I know they're a few games behind right now, but if they make a push and end up in the playoffs. I asked one Yankees fan that I know what they would do. Now, he's hated A-Rod from the beginning, and he said he wouldn't clap because he shouldn't be playing, which I agree with. But still, it's hard for me because, I'm a big St. Louis Cardinal fan, and none of my Cardinals had this suspension issue. But I'm trying to think, if I was a fan of another team, and I had a suspended player that was still playing, and my team won, it's hard. It's like being between a rock and a hard place because, like I said, they shouldn't be playing, but yet you want to cheer for your team. So, like I said, that's really just why it's so not fair, because there's nothing that you can do to make it right. You can stand up and clap and say, well, I'm only clapping for the team. I'm not clapping because of A-Rod, but I'm clapping because my team won. But yet you're still clapping at the time A-Rod's rounding the bases. So that's where I'm kind of stuck. And then, this isn't fair to other players too. There's one player named Skip Schumacher. He used to be on the St. Louis Cardinals. He's currently with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the other day, on an interview, he was talking and saying, look, I had to bust my butt to even get to the majors. And he goes, I bust my butt every day to stay in the majors. He's a player that's well respected, that has always done it the right way. He's not the biggest guy, but, he's a good little ball player. And, it's not fair to people like him or people under him, especially in the Yankees organization, who are not making major league money, who don't have major league roster spots, and yet you've got a guy like A-Rod who's still cashing in right now because he's still getting to play and taking up a roster spot for guys who deserve to have a chance in the majors, who are doing it the right way, and yet A-Rod is blocking them from getting anywhere. And I mean, I couldn't even believe A-Rod's press conference the other day because he kept saying, "Oh well, the truth will come out when the time is right." What truth? He hasn't spoken any truth from day one. He's already been caught before. He's already lied before. I mean, it was like watching a bad acted movie on this press conference because he kept just like deferring the question and not ever answering. I mean, we know he's guilty, and the fact that he's getting to play and when he's supposed to be suspended, and knowing that he's done steroids or whatever before, it's just mind-boggling to me. I guess what I want to get to in all this is what does baseball need to do in the appeals process? Because the biggest thing to me is it's not fair that A-Rod's still playing. It's not fair, like I said, to the Yankees fans. It's not fair to the other teams in the AL East. It's not fair to other players who are getting blocked because he's taking up a roster spot and making bukus of dollars to take a spot that other people rightfully deserve, who are busting their butts trying to get to the major leagues and doing it the right way. So I'm glad baseball's cracking down, and I need to know what should baseball do on the appeals process, because something has to be changed. Maybe some of y'all watching out there can leave some comments on Triple Threat Talk's page. Maybe you have some ideas. Maybe the Triple Threat guys have some ideas. I don't know. Something else, I mentioned this on the video with the doc a couple weeks ago. I still think baseball might be better off going from 3 to 2 strikes, because right now they've got the 50, 100, and then you're gone thing, I think. But they need to go from the first time, because maybe somebody did take something by accident. Okay, they get a 50-game suspension. They know not to do it again. But second time, you're gone. You're done. You're gone. Because first time, okay, you've gotten away or tried getting away with something, or you made a mistake. Okay, fine, we can let you get off with one mistake, one accident. But the second time, then something's wrong. So I think that might be better off. But if baseball does leave it at the current system, which is 50, 100, and then you're done, maybe they need to look into putting some kind of clause in there regarding the contract situations. Because here you got A-Rod, who makes, I think, like over $25 million a year to play, and maybe after, maybe like the second time, if they stick with 50 and 100, besides that 100-game suspension, there maybe put some kind of clause in there that they can also redo the contract, because after a second suspension it voids the current contract, and maybe you can renegotiate a new contract if that happens, so that you're not stuck with this ridiculous contract that is for so many years and for so much money, especially in A-Rod's case. I mean, that's just an idea. I don't know if that's something they could do or not, but I mean, it would, to me, it would only be fair. But I wanted to get all of that off my chest because I just know it's not fair to baseball for A-Rod to still be playing right now. And like I said, I'd like to get your all's ideas, but for now, that's all I've got on the baseball situation. Like I said, I'll be back here later for OVW Mania like usual, and we've got a lot of OVW news to cover this week. But for right now, I'm going to send it back to the guys in the studio. Thanks.
All right, thanks to Brian for that. We'll see him a little bit later on for OVW.
He's trying to expand out.
Yeah. But
maybe we should just bring him on the show.
Could have.
We could.
All right.
He has a spot.
Preseason week 1. Usually we talk about football last, but since
before you get onto that, we did have another baseball topic.
Oh, we do. How can I forget the hottest streak in baseball right now? I was actually going to go over this a little bit later, but if you want to,
you were talking
Atlanta
baseball
Braves,
now.
What are they? 14 straight?
13 in a row.
15 and a half games in first.
15 and a half games ahead in their division.
I drove by Turner Field the other day. Everything was great. I mean, people were out in front of it. 4 straight series sweeps.
Mm-hmm. They've swept the Nationals, the Cardinals, I forget the 2 before, but they've swept 4 teams in a row. They're off tonight. Well, last night. They resumed tonight at home. But 13 in a row.
Yeah.
They're 7 games away from tying the Oakland Athletics for 20 straight games in a row. like Big B said, I mean, they're 15 and a half games ahead. They have the best record in baseball now. 70 wins. They're the first team with 70 wins. Every other team in their division has a losing record.
Surprisingly, Washington.
Yeah, so the Nationals with a losing record. Your Mets with a losing record.
No surprise there.
The Phillies with a losing record. There's no surprise there.
And the Marlins just
And then the
awful.
Marlins are just terrible.
They're awful.
The Astros are better than the Marlins.
No,
are.
I don't think so.
But they are playing outstanding. They're getting it from all sides, from pitching to hitting. They're working their system well.
They get the best closer in the NL.
Yeah, they got the best, probably one of the best closers in all of the major league.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he's pretty daggone good. Usually he's pretty lights out. I mean, when he comes out there, it's pretty much a done deal most times.
Kind of like how Chapman was a couple years ago.
My only concern about Atlanta is my concern every year with them. They can play well in the regular season. No, that's fine. That's small potatoes.
So you're saying you're the Peyton Manning of the MLB?
It could be. The thing is, though, when they managed by Bobby Cox all those years ago, they won division title, and against the playoffs, they only won one series once. So this team looks a lot different. They're hitting a lot better. They're pitching a lot. They're playing great on all sides of the ball. This win streak is proof of that. But when they get to the big time playoffs, are they going to fold or are they going to play like they're supposed to?
Well, I told you earlier when we were talking about this. I think they can handle the Pirates. They have a better roster than the Pirates in a best of 7.
I would pick them over. I would pick the Dodgers over them in 7.
And as far as the Dodgers go, I think the Dodgers clearly had the better pitching staff as far as like starting pitchers because they have Greinke
Kershaw.
and they have Clayton Kershaw, 2 of the best pitchers in the major leagues. I think from a hitting standpoint, the Braves and the Dodgers are pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, Puig, Gonzalez.
Yeah, and then you have the Upton brothers, Jason Hayward, Brian McCann, Freddie Freeman, who's an outstanding first baseman. I think that could be the NLCS.
If they play that, would go 7. I flip a coin.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a coin flip, but I think right now, if you had to pick 2 teams for the NLCS, I think it would definitely be Atlanta and the Dodgers for sure. Bar none. So, but they're on a roll for sure.
NFL preseason today starts Thursday.
Last night.
Last night. Ravens at Bucks. The Redskins at the Titans. The Rams at the Browns. Bengals at the Falcons. Our 2 teams. The Broncos at the Niners at 1 a.m.
I don't think I'll be tuned into that.
Radio.
Seahawks at Chargers. His team. Friday.
Chargers!
We've got
tail over there.
Dolphins at Jaguars, Jets at Lions, Patriots at Eagles, Cardinals at Packers, Bears at Panthers, Chiefs at Saints, Texans at Vikings, Cowboys at Raiders. Saturday's action is Giants at the Steelers, and Sunday's action is Bills at the Colts.
So last week we had one game, the Dolphins and the Cowboys, and the Dolphins just looked awful.
24-20.
They came out. I mean, I know it's preseason, and I know there's, but just the pace of the Dolphins looked really slow and sluggish. I mean, here's the thing: the first play that the Dolphins had, Ryan Tannehill handed off, the guy fumbles right the first thing.
Field rust.
But you still, I know we talk all the time. It's preseason. We know it's preseason, but that doesn't matter. There's still certain things you look for. Like when in preseason game, they don't have all their plays in. They're not giving you the entire look on offense or defense. What you're looking at is to fill the roster, fill the depth chart,
just to get a feel for some players.
To get a feel for some players. That's all preseason.
I mean, Mike Wallace didn't play at all in that game. Rowan didn't play.
No.
Murray didn't play.
No.
I don't think Bryant played.
I don't think so either.
DeMarcus Ware didn't play.
No.
So
yeah. So with that, we'll take another quick break. When we come back, we'll roll on into some more headlines, including some bad news about my man Smoke. We'll be right back here on Triple Threat Talk. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
IWU Louisville knows business. Not only did I earn my graduate degree, but I experienced a well-rounded education that benefits me my entire life.
The enrollment experience here is fantastic. They fit it around my schedule. They know I'm working. They know I have a family. They really took an interest in my goals here at IWU. IWU knows business.
Indiana Wesleyan University, Louisville. Change your life, change your world.
And welcome back here on the show. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my co-host, the package handler, Big B, and the doctor, Gary Lockhart. So before the break, we were talking preseason, and I know me and Big B gave our little bit of thoughts about it. Doc, you have any thoughts?
I pay no attention.
He's not a big.
I paid. No
I know you're not a big preseason guy, but is there anything at all when you're looking at the Niners that you want to see?
No, and I'll tell you why. last year in preseason, the Niners went 1-3 and went to the Super Bowl. So preseason absolutely tells you nothing. And all it is 4 coaches, and I get why there is a preseason. Yeah, I understand why there's a preseason. It's like you guys said, you want to get a feel for certain players. You want to see certain things. You want to see timing. You want to see if you're lining up right.
Team ready to go.
Yeah, you want, and you also got to start whittling down your roster to that 52 team, that 52
teams. I mean,
52 member squad.
Teams.
So, but when it comes down to it, I really don't pay attention. I basically use this time to, psych myself up. 3 more weeks now.
Get ready, right?
Yeah, stuff like that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, last year, obviously, preseason for me was great because I saw the progression of Russell Wilson, how good he did, and he played better than I thought he would. This year, though, again, preseason, but it's whatever. But I think, and I said this to you, I think, on Facebook, and I think you might agree with me or not, I don't remember. But I think the people that they added on their staff, Monte Kiffin, and Ron Marinelli.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dallas could have a top 5 defense this year. I really think they could. I think people they added on defense is really going to...
It's Monte Kiffin.
Monte Kiffin.
He's not black. It's not Monte.
Monte That's terrible. That's horrible. Monte Kiffin and Ron Marinelli, I think it's a really good
team. Being me, I'm not saying.
But I think those people they added to their staff really going to help the defense out. Right. Wasn't Monte Kiffin was on the staff with the Bucks when they won the Super Bowl, right? I think so.
Yes,
He's been
with his son.
It was with them or Marinelli, but it was
He's been at USC with his son.
Yeah, so I think Dallas I think Dallas defense is going to be top 5 this year. I really do. I mean, it all depends on Romo. It all depends on Romo if that team succeeds or not. So we'll see what happens.
We'll have a big preview
not too big.
in the entire season. We'll break down the divisions. We'll have our annual Triple Threat Talk football special real soon, probably within the next, I'd say a week or 2. Yeah. We actually filmed a football special for our local flavor,
this Wednesday,
which will air this coming Wednesday for anybody in our area that has Time Warner Cable. You can check out our miniature version of the football special. It's a jam-packed 30 minutes.
We want to thank everyone that watched this past Wednesday.
It was a good show. We talked about UK and U of L football. We went over the top 25, and the doc had some wild cards about the Fandom Fest. And Big B talked about Roger Federer and the Make-A-Wish, which, by the way, real quick mention that. Good story. I did check that out.
That's crazy.
And I can't wait to see that air on SportsCenter. I want to commend you for pointing that out. It was a good watch.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the stuff you did.
It was good. So it's always good to see athletes give back their time, money, anything, because I think they should.
He went above and beyond.
And the ones that think they don't, I don't like, because there's a lot of them out there that feel like they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
They shouldn't sign autographs, or they shouldn't do this. But stuff like that is just outstanding, and it tells you what a real person that Roger Federer is.
Before I move on to the other headline, I wanted to give a shout out to Andrew Bishop and Keith Duffy for helping us out last week, and for the show this past week and next week. They did a good job. Andrew.
Yes.
If they get rid of Andrew,
I mean, definitely check out the show this week for sure for Andrew's awesome contribution. I thought
it was great.
Yeah, definitely.
I even laughed.
Yeah, we all did.
So the final major.
The final major.
Last chance, fella.
U.S.
Last
Open.
chance.
No, the PGA.
The PGA.
The PGA Championship.
Which next year will be at good old Valhalla.
Which, by the way, I need to talk to you about that off air.
Okay.
I need to talk to you about that off air.
You want to do it?
Let's just say I got something going.
Okay.
So talk to me off air.
All right.
So yesterday, the PGA Championship kicked off. Wow, Jim Furyk with an outstanding round. Him and Adam Scott both with a 5 under.
And what's really cool about this is the majors. The 4 majors aren't really known for such high scoring or such low scores. At St. Andrews, Phil Mickelson won with a 2 under. The U.S. Open, they won with an even.
And I think so.
I mean, this is like 5 under, and it's going to go. It's because the score is cumulative.
D. Hearn I'm not sure his first name, was a 4 under. Lee Westwood, a 4 under. Paul Casey, Matt Cooker, M. Fraser, and S. Pierce, and Jason Day were all 3 under.
Where's your boy?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Watch.
All the way down here. He is tied for 52nd plus 1. 6 shots over. He'll probably make the cut. Mm-hmm. He was even par heading into the last hole, and he bogeyed. So that put him at 1 over. But see the bad thing about because last week he dominated.
I've never seen him play better. Ever.
Last week he was outstanding.
He crushed.
Did you say there was no?
He destroyed.
Oh, he destroyed the field. And
I was in Florida.
Mickelson was in it.
Yeah.
McElroy was in it.
He killed.
Lee Westwood was in it. It wasn't just like he destroyed a bunch of nobodies.
It was the best. Of course, he's played in a long time.
It was he played up in Akron.
I couldn't believe it.
The WGC World Golf Championship, Bridgestone Invitational up in Akron, Ohio. Yeah. And he obliterated. He shot like a 16 under
16
for the weekend. It was like old Tiger was out for the weekend.
90s Tiger.
Early 2000s Tiger was here for the weekend. It's like he made a curtain call appearance because
time machine.
Yeah, because like he said, there were some shots he made this past weekend before this weekend. I'm thinking, wow. I mean, the shot from the bunker on the last day when he hit that one in from the bunker on the right side, I think it was. That was outstanding. He was playing great, but he's having a rough go of it now. Since the tournament's already started, we won't give a pick 'em because we already know who's ahead. Yeah. But I'll ask this. Out of Jim Furyk and Adam Scott and Lee Westwood, Scott and Furyk share the lead right now at 5 under. Lee Westwood right behind him, who collapsed on the last day of the British Open. Other three, who do you think has the best opportunity to hold sway and be up front all week?
I'm going to say Westwood. I think he's got a lot to prove coming out of the British Open and his collapse. I think Westwood's got the talent. I know he's got the talent. He made a challenge. He wasn't even on the board. The thing is, what people out there understand, he wasn't even in the top 10 going into the last 2 days of the British Open, and he made a screaming comeback and made a case. Mm-hmm. Because he fell short. I said he collapsed, but really he just fell short. He didn't really collapse at all.
He had a bad last day.
He had a bad last day, but the fact of the matter is he worked his way into the top 10 in the last 2 days. So I think Westwood is here. I think if any of them, I'd have to say Westwood, although I would not be surprised at all to see Jim Furyk come storming out and keep that lead. Maybe lose it tomorrow and Saturday, but stay within striking distance for a Sunday comeback.
Yeah, I agree. I think Adam Scott. I'm going to go with Adam Scott. He won the Masters. He's been playing great. He played good at the British Open. He finished in the top 5. He was right there. He's been playing outstanding. I'm interested to see in another year or two when they outlaw these shoulder putters, the belly putters, how he's going to be able to operate, because that's been one of his keys since he's joined the PGA circuit, is that belly putter. So it'll definitely change his game for
2016
sure.
will not be the year for Adam Scott.
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be a rough go of it. But I think Adam Scott of the three up there that we just mentioned, has the best opportunity to stay up to the front.
Yeah. I don't watch enough golf to really have an opinion, but I'll say this about another player. Roy McIlroy needs to just get married and get this over with, because he's driving him crazy.
He's not.
He's completely.
He's terrible.
He's love struck. I mean,
he really is.
It's not like we're making this up. He's never played worse since he's been dating her. I don't know if it's bad on her part or not, but
I mean, she takes it out of him every night.
Well, maybe some nights.
And let's face it, there are worse ways.
Maybe some nights he plays so bad. He's just like, I don't want to be. Just leave me alone. But
I think you could beat Roy McIlroy at this point.
He might. I mean,
it's possible.
The way I was hitting him today, I don't know.
Challenge him the putt. There you go. But yeah, I've heard of Adam Scott before. He won the U.S. Open last year, so he's obviously someone.
He won the Masters this year.
I look at too. But Rory needs to just get his stuff together. I mean, it's not like it's up and down kind of thing. It's apparent. He needs to tie the knot, and so he can focus on golf.
Something, I'll tell you.
Some bad news for Postmaster Jones this weekend in the world of NASCAR.
Smoke has been broke.
First, roll that beautiful bean footage.
No,
it's not beautiful, but you know what I'm saying.
It's not bean footage.
It's not bean footage. It's
roll
not
the footage.
beautiful, and it's not good.
There it is.
Ouch.
I'll take over for a minute. Smoke has broke his leg.
Smoke is broke.
He's going to be out for the rest of the season.
Oh my god.
If only we had Bob Packers on this week.
Yeah, last week we had Bob Packers on the show.
Some sporting news.
For the sporting news. The crazy thing was, one of the biggest topics on our conversation was Tony Stewart and him driving these extracurricular cars. And lo and behold, after another top 10 run at Pocono this past Sunday, which I'll get into that in just a minute, on Monday night he goes to the Knoxville Nationals. He is leading the race with 4 laps to go, looks to be well on his way to pick up another big victory in the sprint car, and a lap car crashes in front of him, causes Smoke to get tangled up, and he breaks his leg in 2 places. He broke his bone like Kevin Ware. The bone was sticking out of his leg. It broke the skin, so it was sticking out. I don't know if it was all the way through his fire suit.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can only imagine.
I saw that once, and once is enough.
Once is enough. When I get, it happened late Monday night after, I was done asleep. And I get up Tuesday morning, and when you get a phone call at 6 in the morning, unless you're working already and it's your boss, it's usually something you don't want to hear. And sure enough, it was something I did not want to hear. It was a good friend of mine, close friend, who's also a Tony Stewart friend. He said, hear about our boy Smoke? And I'm like, no. And he told me, and I was like, son of a, So he broke his leg in 2 places. He will miss Watkins Glen this weekend. Filling in for him this weekend in the number 14 car will be Mad Max Pappas. Yeah, Max Pappas. He is a road course ace. He's a road course racer. He actually tested for Stewart-Haas Racing a couple weeks ago at Virginia Motorsports Park, so that's not a surprise there that he's filling in there. They haven't named a replacement driver for any race after this weekend. Names listed seems like floating around that could take his place are Regan Smith, Austin Dillon, maybe Kyle Larson, but we'll know more than that after that. But get well, Smoke. You definitely will be missed on the track for sure. And you're well known in the sports entertainment, even though you're a NASCAR driver, when you're one of the lead stories on every sports channel.
It's all they show in SportsCenter.
And he was the number 8, not in the United States, in the entire world, number 8 trending topic in the world. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely not good way to be trending for sure. And we wish him all the best and a speedy recovery, and I can't wait to have him back on the track real soon, because NASCAR racing without Smoke is not something I want to see, but we'll have to do. And talking about the race on Sunday, Casey Kane picked up the win. He would not be denied. He passed Jeff Gordon on the final restart to win. It was a Hendrick Motorsports 1-2 as Gordon finished second. Casey Kane picks up the win, his second of the season. He won earlier in the year at Bristol, so that pretty much cements Kane probably into the chase. The chase, we have just a few races left before that begins, and obviously with his injury, Tony will not make the chase, even though he was the leading wild card to make it, so he won't make it in now for sure. They move on to Watkins Glen this week. It's a road course. Those are always fun because they're like a short track. And there's a lot of beating and banging and rubbing. If you don't know what
is racing
talking about, just check out the last lap from last year at Watkins Glen. That was outstanding. So that's NASCAR news this week. Definitely something we didn't want to talk about, but
it happens.
It happens.
It's part of the sport.
Yeah. So moving on to the biggest sports story of the week, other than Tony Stewart, Johnny Manziel.
I was in Florida when this part broke, so I will hand this over to you guys and kind of follow suit.
We're gonna head to break here in a little bit, but we'll get started. We'll brief you what happened, then we'll come back from break. We'll talk about it. But Johnny Manziel is being accused for signing autographs about 300 items.
And charging for it. That's right. I remember hearing about it.
He charged.
Well, he didn't charge.
The broker charged him.
The broker paid him $7,500 to sign some stuff.
And if that's right,
there's video and photographic evidence of this, and we will get more into this and actually talk about how this ties in with Jadeveon Clowney and Teddy Bridgewater, whose names were also brought up, but they will not be in trouble. They were brought up for a different reason. And we'll talk about that and more on Manziel right after this.
They will. I will be out of here. I will see you guys next week. I'm going to hand it over into their capable hands.
Eli, who are you talking to?
I'm not talking. I'm watching football.
Watching football?
Yeah, with DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket Max, you can watch every game every Sunday afternoon on any device, like your computer, tablet, or phone.
Football? On your phone?
Football on your phone.
It's football on your phone. It's football on your phone.
It's football on your phone, that's what I said.
It's football on your phone, you can watch it in bed.
Take it with you wherever you go.
Show your friends and watch them all go home.
It's football on your phone. It's
Yeah.
football on your phone.
It's football on your phone, so now's your chance
To have football on your phone and football in your pants.
Look at this guy using his phone as a phone.
Your phone ain't for calling,
Your phone's for footballing.
It's football on your phone.
Yeah.
Football on your phone.
Let me ask you a question. What do you get when a football gets down with your phone?
It's football on your phone.
Yeah.
It's football on your phone.
If you're on a date with Simone,
Football on your phone.
if you're taking out a small loan,
Football on your
when
phone.
you're sitting on your throne,
Football on your phone.
when you're buttering a scone.
Football on your phone. It's like I spilled milk all over your blouse by accident or on purpose. It's like the milk is like football and your blouse is the phone.
It's football on your phone. It's
Yeah.
football on your phone.
Football on your phone means football all the time.
Do you want that?
He does, she does, our dad does.
Does your dad want it? I mean,
It's football on your phone.
yeah.
What do you think Alexander Graham Bell would say if he saw you watching football on your phone?
Who cares? Dude's dead.
It's football on your phone.
Yeah. Get NFL Sunday ticket.
Only on DirecTV.
Yeah.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. As you can see, got a little less crowded in here. The doc had to move on. He had some prior commitments because he technically wasn't supposed to be here this week. He's on vacation.
He was never here.
He dropped in for a couple segments and now he's dropped out. So me and Big B will continue headlines. We're talking Johnny Manziel, Big
football.
B.
So we said before the break that he charged. He was paid.
He was $7,500 to sign autographs.
And now
there's video and photographic proof of this, apparently.
And if you didn't know, that's against NCAA rules and regulations. Student athletes cannot be paid for autographs and this, that, and the other. And as you mentioned before, Teddy Bridgewater and J. Devon Clowney are connected, but they were not paid.
And
for
Marquise Lee.
But they were not
forgot
paid.
him.
But they were not paid for.
They were not paid. They just signed some stuff apparently for this guy.
But it wasn't. They weren't paid.
But they weren't paid.
But Johnny was.
Johnny was. He was given $7,500. If this is to be the case, he will probably miss this season.
He'll lose a year of eligibility.
He'll lose a year in eligibility. He'll probably be suspended for this year.
Yeah, and Texas A&M is going to take a huge dive.
Yes, absolutely.
Alabama. Here's the thing: the game between Alabama and Texas A&M at College Station is going to be a great game with Johnny Manziel. It'll be close. I like A&M to win that game off with Johnny Manziel. Manziel is not there. Alabama steamrolls them. Roll Tide, literally. Roll.
And some news out of the NCAA today that now they will no longer sell personalized memorabilia or likenesses.
So no jerseys, no shirts.
Yeah, of players that are currently in the NCAA.
Like pretty much I'll give you an example. You can buy a Louisville Cardinals jersey, but you can't buy a number 5 jersey because that's Teddy Bridgewater.
I have one.
Well, you bought it before they changed it.
Yeah.
But they can't do that anymore.
I guess they're gonna. I mean, unless you were unless you were like a mom and pop store that just acquired, and you did it that way. I guess you could do. I guess you could.
Yeah. I don't know how that's gonna work.
I don't know either. I'm kind of.
It's still very fresh. They still just said it a couple hours ago, so we'll see what happens with that. It's just this is why this is their top headline. It's just one thing after another with this kid. I mean, I don't know when he's gonna grow up. The fact that he took money in the first place is just completely a joke. The guy his parents are loaded. He doesn't need money. And then we were talking about this earlier on the phone, and I agree with him 100%. People say like, "Oh,
we were talking football on our phone."
College, yeah, so I said it earlier, right?
No, we haven't seen it yet.
I put it in earlier.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't think you did. I thought we were saving that.
No, I did. I put it in already. But his family is loaded. He doesn't need the money, and we're saying, people like saying, "Oh, they should pay student athletes." Well, you know what? Here's the big picture for you, okay?
Yes.
They get paid full ride, right?
Yep.
They don't have to pay for their classes.
Yep.
They don't have to pay for their meals.
Nope.
They don't have to pay for their room.
Nope.
Everything is handed to them. Like let's say here. They hand it to them, okay? It's handed to them. Everything is handed to them in college.
They get paid already.
Yeah.
I hate these people. And there's a lot of people in the media too, higher up people.
Here's the thing.
And they say, well, they should be paid. They're getting paid.
Yeah, the only thing I say about them getting paid is like the college football games. When they're out of college, they should get residuals from that. That's all.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
They can't make money while they're in the game because I believe because they're not making a game next year. I don't think anyway. There's some kind of
and people say, well, if you're a big time college athlete, you can't get a job. Well, so you'll have a job when you come out. If you're that good, okay. Here's the thing. If we'll just use him as an example because we were talking about him. Teddy Bridgewater is getting paid. He has a full ride to the University of Louisville.
Which is not cheap.
He has his meals paid. He has a dorm room. He has his education. That's all paid for him.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Depends what he's going
You
for.
do not realize the money, okay? Just like, let's say that Big B here was coming in to U of L to play tennis. And let's say, well, they said, Big B, we really think you're an excellent tennis player. We just don't have a scholarship for you this year, so we're going to need you to walk on. Okay? So Big B is going to have to pay out of pocket the money for classes, for food, for dorm if he was staying on campus, for all that himself. It's not like everything's handed to you. When you get that scholarship and you get the benefits that becomes from being a scholarship athlete for that university, or you can get an education scholarship as well. It's not just for let's not forget that. A lot of people don't realize, but a lot of times you can get your education paid for through academics. It's not all athletics.
Most of the time it's athletics.
But like the girl on the college, the softball team, she gets a scholarship. The women's basketball team, they get scholarship.
I don't think Quigley got a scholarship to UK. I don't think he did.
Did he walk on or?
I don't think he got a scholarship.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he did. So.
But my point is, they get paid, and I hate when they say, "Well, these kids aren't getting paid. The NCAA is making all this money." Yeah, the NCAA is making all these money, but these kids are getting paid because if they didn't get their college paid, they would have like a $60, $70, $80, $90, $100,000 in debt when they got out of college.
Trust me, I'm right there with them.
I mean, so
the thing is though, if it were the opposite and they didn't have all these things paid for them, Manziel would still be fine. His parents would pay for it.
Yeah, there's people out there. Perfect example. A couple years ago, I think it was Kyle Keurig. He actually, even though he was a scholarship player, I think it was his last year or two, he became a walk-on because Pitino basically said, your parents can afford to pay for you to go here, and we need this scholarship. Obviously, I'm sure he talked to his parents.
Yeah, of course.
And they agreed to it. But the fact of the matter is, I think that is a misconstrued statement and a misconstrued topic when they say that these guys should be paid. They're already being paid. It's not that they should be paid. They're getting paid.
Yeah, that's some of those colleges are expensive.
There's no way around it.
I mean, look at the facility in Oregon. It's like someone's like mansion.
We were talking earlier. Big B and I were saying the football facilities in Oregon rival some that are more
They rival up in Seattle's facilities.
And better than some NFL teams. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not just saying because I'm a fan of this, but I think Seattle's one of the best facilities in all football. I mean, Paul Allen owns the team; he's got money out the wazoo. But then look at Oregon's facility. The facility looks like it's an NFL team facility.
Well, when your biggest booster is the owner of Nike and the founder of Nike, it kind of helps. So. This is definitely a discussion that could go on for hours, and I'm sure there'd be plenty of people calling me idiot and stupid for saying that
he's not wrong.
That they don't get paid. Bull crap.
And they don't get paid in the literal sense.
No.
But they get paid figuratively. Figuratively speaking, they
because
get paid.
they don't have that college debt when they come out of school, when they graduate or they leave early, go to the NFL. And that's what some people would say. Oh, well, yeah, but if they had to pay their way and they were good, they could leave after 2 years and blah, blah. So what? You know, it's ridiculous.
The greatest college athletes from the test of time. When they go to college, they don't pay a dime.
No, exactly.
Everything is paid for them.
Another NFL story that we didn't get to. Do you want to wait and save this for our segment later? Or do you want to get into this Greg Jennings story now? Should we save it as our Idiot of the Week?
Sure, why not?
Or should we?
We'll save it for it. I don't have an Idiot of the Week, so
all right. So that's headlines this week.
For the most part.
We do have a funny headline regarding Greg Jennings that we both kind of shook our head going, okay. But anywho, so moving on from that to wrestling this week. OVW with Brian Cannon and Big B. I know you're not in the video.
No, of course not.
But
I couldn't be bothered.
For the second time this show, our good pal Brian Cannon chimes in. Take a look.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of OVW Mania here on Triple Threat Talk. This is for episode 110, and I'm going to jump right into it because we had a lot of OVW action over the past week. So I don't want to have a huge 25-minute video or take up the whole show. So let's just jump right into it and start with episode 728. It was taped last Wednesday, July 31st at the Davis Arena. It was the final episode before the Saturday night special. The night featured Jay Bradley doing all he could to try to get out of his match with Rob Terry. The first match of the evening was Roberto De Luna, who got substituted by VIP under VIP Club rules against Michael Hayes, and Roberto picked up the win due to VIP's interference. He was while the referee was distracted, he grabbed the champagne bucket and knocked Michael Hayes in the back of the head with it, allowing Roberto to get the pin. Jay Bradley was in the back talking to Marcus Anthony and saying that he was upset that he didn't listen to him last week. And Marcus said that he was just focused on doing what he could to try to get in the title picture. And Jay Bradley ends up taking out Marcus Anthony, hurting his knee. After that, we had a TV title match, Flash Flanagan versus the champion Dylan Bostic. Flash Flanagan actually had the win until Randy Royal came out and dragged the referee out of the ring. Then Tony Gunn came out, Rudy Switchblade came out, the rest of the Marauders got involved, and then it ended up in a big mess that was going to be settled at the Saturday night special. They ended up setting up a fatal four-way after this between Flash Flanagan, Randy Royal, Rudy Switchblade, and the champion Dylan Bostic. There was also a Femme Fatale Battle Royal for SNS to determine the number one contender for Trina's OVW Women's Championship, and Lady Tapa destroyed everyone in the Battle Royal, but it came down to her and Heidi Lovelace, and Lady Tapa tried to powerbomb Heidi out of the ring, but Heidi held onto the ropes and leg scissored Tapa over and ended up becoming the number one contender. That Battle Royal also featured the Blossoms, the A-list of Taylor Hendricks and Envy, Nikki St. John, Jessie Bell, and Lovely Lila. Then the main event of the evening, of course, was supposed to be Jay and Rob Terry. Jay comes out and says that he's sorry everyone spent their hard-earned money, but there would be no main event because Rob Terry was too afraid to come to the ring and face him. Jamin Olivencia came out and said, just give him another minute or two. He's on his way. He's having car trouble. And Jay Bradley said, no, we need to start the count. It's not my fault that he had 4 flat tires. And Jamin said, nobody ever said anything about 4 flat tires, so you had to have had something to do with it. And they end up brawling and have to be separated. And Jay has referee Chris Sharp start the count again, and before the 10, Rob Terry does make it in street clothes, and they end up having the main event. Jay Bradley ends up getting the win, however, though, because he loaded his boomstick with a foreign object and ended up knocking Rob Terry out with it and getting the victory. So that moves us right into the Saturday night special from last Saturday, August 3rd. It started off with Danny Davis in the ring, the OVW owner himself. He talked a little bit about the old school show that was the next day on Sunday. And then he called out Jesse Goddard, who did not show up for the Wednesday night TV taping. And he told Jesse that that when you make a bet, you honor it. And he goes, that's what a real man does. and he tells him that Jesse will have a match tonight, and he will wear the bunny suit or be fired, and he knows people in TNA and will make sure that he's suspended there as well if he doesn't do it. And then the real quick match results, the really new Rockers, Ryan Howe and Rockstar Spud, beat the team of 4M, Mr. Marvelous, Melvin Maximus, and the Body Guy. The Marauders, Raul Amata, Joe Coleman, and Shiloh Jones beat the team of Aaron Sky and Lambda, Stephon J. Baxter III, and Albert Einstein Baxter II. Elvis Pridemore with a win over Nick Dumeyer. Eddie Diamond gets the win over Jesse Goddard in the bunny suit, so Jesse is still stuck in it. Then the title matches all happened after intermission. All 4 titles were on the line. The tag titles were first. Muhammad Ali Vaez and Michael Hayes successfully defend against Roberto De Luna and VIP Joe Rosa. They were the 2 that were picked under VIP club rules. Jay Best was on the outside. The women's title, Trina was able to successfully defend against Heidi Lovelace, but Lady Toppa was out at ringside, and she got in the ring and said, you can hold on to that title for now, but I'm coming for it. The Fatal 4-Way match for the television title ended up basically becoming a triple threat. Before the match even started, Tony Gunn came out and attacked Randy Royal, and they fought to the back, which left Flash, Rudy, and Dylan Bostic. And this was actually one of the best matches of the night. A lot of great moves and all that. It came down to the end where Rudy Switchblade actually hit the frog splash on Dylan Bostic, but Flash grabbed the referee and started distracting him. The rest of the Marauders come out, grab Rudy from the ring, and as soon as they do, Flash lets go of the referee and goes over and pins Dylan Bostic, and now Flash is the new OVW television champion. And Shiloh shouted out after the match, that's 1 down and 2 to go, which we can only assume that they're wanting their entire faction to have all the titles. So there's I would say there's a good chance that coming up at the next Saturday night special, 2 of the 3 of them, maybe Raul and Joe Coleman, will team up to try to take on Ali and Hayes and take the tag titles, and maybe Shiloh, since he's kind of gotten in the leadership role of this group, will end up fighting for the heavyweight title. And then the final match of the evening, of course, was the OVW Heavyweight Championship, and Jay Bradley got the win. However, it was by disqualification. Jamin saw the loaded boomstick, and after he hit a standing O, he exposed it and used the foreign object that was in the boomstick to hit Jay with. So there was no choice but to disqualify Jamin. But he is still the champion, and it'll, I guess we'll find out this week if Jay Bradley will get another chance, since he actually got the win, and Jamin got disqualified. So it sounds like we're already getting set up for the next Saturday night special, which will happen Saturday, September 7th. Like I said, there's a possibility Jay gets another title shot. Trina versus Toppa looks like it's pretty much getting set, unless they have it on TV before then. And then, like I said, there's a chance that 2 of the other 3 Marauders will be going after the tag titles with Hayes and Ali, since they're wanting to try to take all the titles for their group. That's the way it looks. So, also, I want to say that Saturday Night Special was the final night, at least for a while. Hopefully, he'll be back sooner than later. But a good friend of both Triple Threat Talk and OVW Mania, fan advocate and ring announcer Terry Bodie. He'll be missed. We hope he's back sooner than later. And it was a very cool moment, very emotional for him, because one of the great fans at OVW, Micro's dad, made a sign for Terry that said "Come back soon," and then he had everybody before the show in line sign it, and some of the superstars as they were walking in signed it as well. So he had this giant poster that he's going to get framed for his man cave, that was filled with signatures, wanting him to come back soon. And he was real emotional, and it was a really cool moment. And we're glad that he has that connection with the fans. And we hope, like I said, he comes back soon, and he'll be missed in the meantime, but he has to do what he has to do. So, we're going to move on now to Old School. It was a new show, the first one they put out, where they wanted to go over the 70s and 80s style of wrestling, where it's not so over the top, not all these big matches where you have ladders and chairs or cages or anything else, just strictly wrestling. They had, older music and attire. You can read all the results, of course, as well as other dark matches and, details on the old TV episode, Saturday Night Special, and Old School on ovwmania.blogspot.com. But just a couple things on Old School. It was headlined by the hero of the night, Cliff Compton, came back to defeat the body guy who was out there with Taylor Hendricks. One of the other interesting parts of Old School was it was kind of flip-flopped because the fan favorite Thunder Gun Express, Shake and Bake Shallow Jones, and Thunder Joe Coleman teamed up to defeat the team of the Elite, which was Ted McNaylor and Adam Revolver with their manager Michael Titus. So it was a fun night. It was very interesting, and I look forward to more of those shows. OVW Old School. It's going to happen on the first Sunday of every month. Tickets are only $5, and I don't think they thought this through well, but they said if you have a Saturday night special ticket stub, it's only $3. But the next Old School is set for Sunday, September 1st. The next Saturday night special is Saturday, September 7th. So they might have to flip-flop something or figure something different out there. But that was their plan anyway. So, as I said, you can check out OVW Mania for full results, but you can now watch live too because OVW is finally, after many people asking for it, got a deal where you can watch some of the big shows online with video on demand. The shows for Saturday Night Special and Old School will be out soon. You can go to http://www.live.com/ondemand-ovw.html. They've also got it, of course, on their website at ovwrestling.com because I know it's a lot to remember. If you go to www.live.com and click around, you'll get to it. But if you go to the /ondemand-ovw, that'll get you directly to OVW's page. I'd also, once again, as always, like to thank referee Chris Sharp for his help with promoting my stuff on OVW Mania, things I put out. Don't forget to follow him at Ref Chris Sharp. A lot of times he has live event results for different shows like in E-Town or other places that I don't get to. And then, of course, he has the great podcast that only kind of have to do with wrestling. You can listen to as well. They're always great listens with some of your favorite stars. Everybody from Jamin Olivencia to James Moose Thomas, Doug Williams, Trailer Park Trash, Eddie Diamond. He had one last week with Mike Mondo. So lots of great podcasts to listen to on there. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back.
Here we are. The world is ours. Rain is gone.
Really quickly, I'd like to send happy birthdays from OVW Mania to the following superstars. Jay Best of the VIP Club had his back on July 27th. Thunder Joe Coleman of the Thunder Gun Express and, of course, the Marauders had his on Tuesday, August 6th. And the champ himself, Mr. 200% Jamin Olivencia, happy birthday to him on Wednesday, August the 7th. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for this week. Sorry that it took so long, but there was a lot of stuff to cover. Plus, I even had another video on the show this week talking about baseball and the whole thing with the PEDs and A-Rod and all that. So I'm just going to end it here. So hopefully you all enjoyed this week's segment, and I'll send it back to the guys in the studio. Have a great week, and I'll see you again next time.
Yeah, I shouldn't have shown that because inside story, we were at the OVW Saturday Night Special this past Saturday. One of the wrestlers, Trina Thompson, her theme song is a Fall Out Boy song. Once out there, light him up, and he was singing it. So I should have banished him from having his video on the show this week because of Fall Out Boy, and I just do not care for them whatsoever.
So you were at Saturday Night Special.
I was.
I know Brian gave his thoughts. Brian talked about it. I know I looked over the results. I didn't go, but I checked out the results. I read what happened. I saw what happened. On a level of like A to F, what would you say their performance, the overall show was?
B-. I thought some matches were really good. I thought the Jamie and Jay Brown match was good. The ending was kind of...
Yes. They do that too much in OVW.
I thought the TV title match was fantastic between Rudy, Dylan, and...
Would you agree?
What?
That they do...
Sometimes, yeah.
They do those endings too much in big matches at OVW.
Yeah, sometimes. But I think the TV title match between Flash Flanagan, Rudy, and Dylan was actually really good.
And Flash Flanagan won the...
The funniest match is because we were joking and we thought this was not happening. No disrespect to these guys because they get to do what they love to do, and there's a time where I wanted to do what they do when I was younger. But Elvis Pridemore fought Nick Dumeier. I'm not lying. That was a match. That was a match from the card.
Wow.
And me and Brian were in stitches. It was hysterical.
How does that make it to the Saturday Night Special card?
I don't know.
How much money did they pay him? That's what I want to know.
Jesse lost again. He's still in the bunny suit. Lost to Eddie Diamond. Try to think. This is how they did it. They saved the title matches for last, and I think the TV title was second to last, and then the title. I think it went in this order. I think it was Ali and Hayes versus VIP. Mm-hmm. Then it was Heidi versus Trina. Then it was TV. Then it was the main event. Ali Hayes was good. I think Michael and Ali were happy to see me there for sure, and Brian's always there too. But they had a good match, and Joe's girlfriend, I was friends with her, and. I like Joe and I like Ali, and I couldn't pick, and I was cheering for both of them. I couldn't really decide on one of them.
You were flip flopping worse than a politician, fella.
I was, and I wish Heidi's match was longer. It seemed kind of she got kind of dominated by Trina a little bit. She had some offense a little bit. Lady Toppa was out there. They had guest hosted the whole night. So our match was pretty good. I congratulate her. I wish her good luck beforehand and after. It's a good match, but the match wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. And I obviously wanted her to win. But, Trina got the better of her that night. So.
All right. So that's OVW this week. We want to thank Brian Cannon for both contributions to the show this week, from the baseball topic to OVW. We want to give a special shout out to Terry and Cheryl Bodie. It was Terry's final night at OVW at this past week's Saturday Night Special.
When I got there, I have 3 wild cards, by the way. 3? Yeah. But they're not long. They're pretty quick. But I got to the OVW-Universe Arena on Saturday, and they had a big poster. Everyone was signing it, from superstars to fans in the line. And they gave it to Terry, and no joke, he was getting a little emotional because I don't think he expected that kind of thing from the fans. So I really, it was good to see that. And I was talking to Cheryl the other night, and she was happy the business. I was happy the business is growing for them, and it's something that Terry wants to do. And
right,
but he was happy. He was sad to see obviously leave OVW, but he's done a lot for us, and he's done a lot for them. So. I think he deserves what he got on Saturday.
And I want to give a shout out to them, of course, and to Brian Cannon, and everybody at OVW for everything that they do. So, moving on to WWE this week. So, we're about 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. Pretty much here lately, that's what they've been.
Moving along.
They've been moving along
the road to SummerSlam.
Been building up to SummerSlam.
They made that match that I said a long time ago, Cody versus Damian, which I don't think I think it will be, and it should be. They should make it for the Money in the Bank. Right now, it's not for that at this point. But
they have 6 matches right now. You have John Cena versus Daniel Bryan.
WWE title.
Del Rio versus Christian.
The world title.
You have Rhodes versus Sandow.
Pending Money in the Bank, could be.
You have the Inferno match.
No. It's the Johnny Cash on Ring of Fire.
Either way, it's epic. The fact that that's back is outstanding.
Follow the Buzzards.
Bray Wyatt versus Kane. Yeah. Then you have
mixed tag.
A mixed tag match. Boy, how the mighty have fallen. Big E, not to be confused with Big B. Big E Langston and AJ Lee teaming up to take on Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn.
Interesting. And the Divas title not defended.
Not yet. What was the 6th match? So there were 6 so far.
Shield? Is that confirmed
Negative.
yet? Is that confirmed yet?
Negative.
Okay. Maybe that's not it. I don't know. We'll have full pick'ems next week.
Full pick'ems next week, but there's been 6 matches so far. Okay, probably the couple things from Raw that caught my eye. One was the supposed corporate makeover.
Daniel Bryan.
And boy, was Vince handing it to Daniel Bryan. He said, "You look like a corporate goat." And he called him. I never thought I would ever see the possibility of a gargoyle being a champion. I mean, Vince is just, he doesn't care, man. He just it doesn't matter. to him.
Wade Barrett got a nice.
Wade Barrett got a half shave.
Now he's fully shaved.
Now he's fully shaved, of course.
They're building towards it now. So next week we'll have our picks for it. I mean, 8 months through the year, they're still going strong. I haven't seen anything where I'm like, really? Yet?
Exactly. So that's wrestling this week. Short but sweet, but like I said, they're building towards SummerSlam, and you see what's going on, and we'll be more elaborate, and especially with our pick'ems next week. So when we get back, we'll have our wild cards, our Idiot of the Week, and we'll wrap up the show. Hopefully we don't get cut off right after this.
This is big.
Show at the top.
And welcome back right here on Triple Threat Talk. I am Big B, Brandon Muir, alongside
No Doc.
PostMaster Joe Jimmy Biggers. No Doc, he had to take over a commitment. Before we get into our Idiot of the Week and wild card, I mentioned last week, I want to mention every week. Total Divas this past Sunday. One thing that kind of caught my eye was Eva Marie. She's playing some kind of villainous character. Okay, she has a boyfriend who now she's engaged to. They were dating for 2 months, and if you get engaged to someone 2 months, it's love, whatever. But she sees Fandango dancing. Now, Fandango's not a bad-looking guy, all right? So she wants to dance with Fandango, so she lies to WWE, telling them that she has a dance background when she clearly does not. So they obviously see it firsthand because she tries that before Raw goes on. Stephanie rips her a new one, saying, if we go on Raw and that happens, you make us look like idiots. So you do that again, you're going to be gone. So she's not really having herself a good start to her career. She was told to change her hair to blonde, she changed it to red, and she told me she could dance ballroom dancing, and she clearly could not. So she's batting 1,000 as far as I'm concerned.
Not very smart, is she, fella?
No, but like I said, check out the show on E. It's getting better ratings than TNA.
That's bad.
Total Divas.
That's bad.
It's interesting. I like seeing the lives, and then John Cena's house is astronomically big. Multiple cars, an indoor pool. He's got everything you could think of that John Cena has. It's good to watch. It's going to pick up drama-wise. That's what reality shows are. It's going to pick up certain things, and I like it. So.
All right, good stuff.
Total Divas report.
So your multitude, your mountain of wild cards.
They're very quick. All right, my first wild card is this past Saturday before OVW. I went to see The Conjuring, and two things about it. One, in the beginning, it didn't really freak me out as much. Someone's calling. It didn't freak me out as much. But then towards the end, I don't know if you've seen it, but when she gets, I won't spoil, but towards the end, it started to really mess with my head and freak me out. So that was a good.
Are you the only one in the theater?
Huh? No, there's people in there. This is my second part of this wild card, right? So there's a scene in the movie. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there's there's this game they play called hide and clap. Like people put a blindfold on and then you clap to kind of see where they're at, like hide and seek, but with the blind. All right, so. She goes in the basement and someone's claps, okay?
Yes.
And this lady behind us screams like she's on a roller coaster. She's like, ah! Like really loud. And it was hilarious because it came out of nowhere. Then we're laughing because she screamed like that. And then I'm hearing her whisper and she goes, I spilled all the popcorn. So I guess in her scream, the popcorn goes flying and that's a waste of like $5. So. That's my one wild card. Definitely Conjuring. Check it out. It's one of the good. It's a really good horror movie. There's not many of them out there, but The Conjuring was very, very good. My second wild card. This past Sunday.
I do know, speaking of The Conjuring, one of the guys I work with went and saw it, and he said he was sitting there and the theater was full, and there was a part, and he said it was like it was perfectly timed. They're all sitting there and they're watching it, and this dude just busts out and he goes, screw that, why don't you just kill yourself? Get it over with! So it must be pretty bad if he wants the lady to kill herself.
It's definitely eye-jarring for sure. It's good. I mean, like, it got good ratings, and I was like, it looked kind of silly in the beginning, but I went to see it. It's definitely worth it.
How about the You're Next? What's that look like to you?
Looks like Bray Wyatt's family's in that movie.
I know.
With the goat masks.
That's kind of weird.
But my second wild card this past Sunday, I did something for the first time I've ever done. I played a best of 5 set tennis match with my father. 3-hour tennis match we played over at Seneca Park. Very nice park over here. Played over 3 hours. We played best of 5 set. I won 6-2, 6-4, 6-7, 6-love. So that was nice. We're probably gonna do that once a week. I mean, the thing was, we were there longer than anybody else, obviously. So it was good to play. I liked playing that long, and it was definitely good exercise for sure. My third wild card is this weekend. Tons of TV this weekend. Hell on Wheels comes back on Saturday night. It's a 2-hour premiere, 9 o'clock on AMC, 2 hours, and also I've been recently getting into Breaking Bad. I've been watching it like no other. I'm on season 3 right now. I'm gonna try and get over with it before Sunday. That way I can get caught up on Sunday when the second half of season 5 starts up. Breaking Bad is one of the best shows on TV. I can see why Bryan Cranston wins Emmys every year for that. And also, if you have HBO, The Newsroom is on Sunday night as well at 10 o'clock. And also Total Divas, if you have to DVR that, I definitely recommend it.
A lot of TV.
And football this week.
There's a lot of football. There's a lot of football. A new show that I stumbled on last week I'd like to talk about, since we're talking TV shows. On the History Channel, it's called Hatfields and McCoy's White Lightning.
So it's a spin-off of something else, right? Is it the spin-off?
No, this is a new show.
Was it? Well, I'm saying because there was a thing last year with Kevin Costner, that Hatfield and McCoy.
Well, yeah, that was a mini-series. That was
like
a movie.
Is it spin-off or something?
No, this is total. This is real. This is real.
Okay.
Like the Hatfields and the McCoys that live in. Last week was the 1-hour season premiere. I finally checked it out last night. It's new on Thursdays. It's half-an-hour episodes, but they show 2 new half-an-hour episodes every week. So check that out. It's pretty cool. It's amazing that after all these years and all the things that have happened, they still do not like each other, and they still
probably never will.
And they still, as a matter of fact, in the debut episode, they have everything from a drag race. It's pretty cool though, and to hear them talk. And Stephanie and I were watching it. And she said, "Do you think they play some of this up for TV?" I said, "Yes, probably. Some of it is played up for TV."
There's some truth to reality TV.
Yes, there is some truth, but some of it is played up for TV to make it better. Yeah. That's why it's TV. It's entertainment.
Yes.
So
I guarantee you, not everything on Total Divas is actually has.
Yeah, exactly. But check that out. It's called Hatfields and McCoy's White Lightning. It was really interesting. I thought it was good. Also, Big Brother's in full swing. It's a double eviction tonight. I'm excited to go and check that out.
Well,
double eviction nights are always crazy.
You got to remember though, this week your show's going to get trumped because this week is Shark Week. So your show.
That is true. Shark Week.
Yes.
So Sharknado, 5 nights a week. Is that what you're telling me?
No. Surprisingly, Sharknado is not on Sci-Fi at all this week.
I'm shocked that they didn't put Sharknado on Shark Week.
Well, Shark Week's part of Discovery Channel, so that's a separate channel.
Although Discovery did screw up. Their first Shark Week show was about the freaking prehistoric fish. What was it? I don't know. The Paladoon or the Maladoon. I'm like, really? You lead off Shark Week with this? Are you kidding me? The only thing that gets me with Shark Week, Big B, is when they show those commercials of that shark and he jumps up out of the water and snatches the seal, and then he goes back down in the water. You're like, holy crap! Where did he come from? You know, you're like, but that's why I don't go in the ocean.
Right.
This guy's not swimming in the ocean. I'll go on a boat, but I'm not getting in the ocean.
Right.
So, our idiot of the week.
I've been brainwashed. Who is it?
You've been brainwashed. Big B, I'm going to say a magic word, and every time I say a magic word, you're going to take a drink of your water, okay?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, I know, but... So, Greg Jennings.
I can say the magic word.
Huh?
I can say the magic word.
No, because you said you doubt it, so I'm not going to...
Well, you never know.
Alright, so Alakazam. So Greg Jennings, wide receiver for the wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. It's his first year with the Vikings. He's been with the Packers since day one of his NFL career. He's won a Super Bowl there. Two, I believe, yeah. Well, apparently, Big B, Alakazam, he is brainwashed. Apparently, the Packers brainwashed him while he was there. They led him on to believe that the Packers were the best team in the NFL. The Packers were this, the Packers were that. There was no other team to worry about. Big B, the Vikings didn't exist. You didn't have to worry about the Lions. You didn't have to worry about the Bears. It was all about the Packers. I was brainwashed somehow. They made me do things. What? Are you kidding me? Where did this come from? What are you on? What did you put in the Gatorade at practice when you made these comments?
I don't know.
I don't understand. What do you mean brainwashed? First off, Greg Jennings, the Packers are the best team in the NFC North. Second
One of
off,
the best teams in the NFC.
They're one of the best teams in the NFL.
And the best quarterback in the NFC.
They say they're the best because they are. They won a Super Bowl. They're on the top every year. Let's see. Last year, they won the division by 2 games. The Bears were second, and then everybody else was distant.
The Vikings were second.
Yeah, Vikings were second.
The wild card.
So, and then everybody else was, distant. So, They're not brainwashing anything. They're just telling the truth.
Yeah.
There's nothing brainwashing about telling the truth.
That's like if they went 5-11 and they're like, we're the best. Like, no, you're not.
No, you're
That's
not.
different, but they're not.
So, are you going to go to the Vikings and tell Leslie Frazier or Christian Ponder, say, Leslie Frazier, we're not the best team. We're number 3. We're the third best.
We're not clearly the best.
We're not clearly the best.
We can't compete with Green Bay. We can't compete with Jay Cutler and the Bears. So we don't want to play.
I didn't get it. I don't understand. So, I mean, really, it's kind of silly, really. It
is.
I mean, sometimes people let their mouth overload their arse, for sure.
Arse fella.
Yep, that's for sure. So with that makes Mr. Greg Jennings, Minnesota Viking wide receiver, this week's episode 110, Idiot of the Week. Alakazam, Big B. So with that wraps up the show this week. Good stuff as always. Sorry the doc couldn't stay with us for the full show, but hopefully he'll be back and better than ever next week. And maybe by then we will get over this whole package handling thing. I'm not sure. So Big B, take us home, fella.
If you want to like us on Facebook, please do it. Facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter @triplethreattalk. You can send us any comment or question you have. Of course, your blogs at triplethreattalk.com. triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. Don't forget to visit our website, triplethreattalk. I got ahead of myself. triplethreattalk.com. This is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones.
And that's the same after that?
What?
I usually say like something else.
Okay. This is Big B over here. This is Postmaster Jones reminding everybody, don't go slow in the left lane. There you go.
There you go. This is Big B signing off, and this weekend it's all about Hell on Wheels, Breaking Bad, The Newsroom, and Elysium. Go see Elysium starring Matt Damon out this weekend.
And his practice of package handling.
See you next week.